Okay. Alrighty, guys. Today we're making not peanut butter. We're always making peanut butter. We're making banana oat protein bars, and these are so good and so simple. So I already have a batch made that I'm going to frost at the end, but let's jump into making it from scratch. So we're gonna need 2 cups of already rolled quick oats, and I like to use half a cup at a time. So you're just gonna need quick oats, your favorite protein powder, and some baking powder, and that's literally it. I was going to make muffins, but I do not have a muffin tin. So we have 2 cups of quick oats. These are so simple, and I've been eating them all day. They're so good. Okay, so that's 2 cups there. And then we have 2 scoops of protein powder. And this is a pretty big scoop. This is 31 grams per scoop. So you want about 60 grams of protein powder for the right ratio. And that's good. And then you want to whisk that together with half a teaspoon of baking soda. Baking powder. All right. And then I'm just going to whisk that together. And I like to add also cinnamon in mine. So I'm going to add some cinnamon. And my protein powder is Snickerdoodle. This is so yummy. This is the PES Select whey protein powder. Thank you to the heart that just went out there. And I'm going to add some cinnamon. And I'm almost out of cinnamon, which is pretty sad. So all we did so far is 2 cups of quick oats, 2 scoops, about 60 grams of protein powder, half a teaspoon of baking powder, and some cinnamon. Okay, and then I already have in the food processor 2 bananas. So just food process 2 bananas. If you choose to clump them, crush them up with a fork, there's just going to be some chunks in there. So just try to get those out unless you want chunky bread. That's fine too. To each their own. And you're going to just pour that right on top. Super simple. And this is just bananas, 2 bananas processed up, 2 cups of quick oats, 2 scoops of protein powder. So pretty simple to remember so far. And then a half a teaspoon of baking powder. And this is actually a lot harder than I thought. Okay. Here we go. And the riper the banana, the better when you're cooking with them because they're a lot more sweet. And I preheated the oven to 350 degrees. We're going to let these cook for 25 minutes. All right, so I got my banana in here. And then I'm also going to add half a teaspoon of vanilla. That was almost a disaster. Okay. And then I'm just going to stir these up. And they're going to stir super easily. The last thing I'm going to add is egg whites. And I'm doing about a third of a cup of egg whites. So I'm going to take this guy. There we go. Basically protein, and more protein. And that's what you want for after the gym, for breakfast, whatever. So we're going to give this a good stir. And it's going to make the perfect batter. And I'm telling you, this Snickerdoodle protein that I have is so good in it. And then when I show you how to make the icing, you're going to be amazed because it's the simplest thing. And if you have protein powder and water, you can do that. So going to give this a stir. And again, I preheated the oven to 350. And this is going to cook for 25 minutes. And so I was going to make muffins, but I don't have a muffin tin. So we're doing bars instead, which honestly, I kind of like better. It's a little higher, bigger of a protein serving size, which is great. The muffins are really going to be small, so this is more my style. And there you go, really thick batter because it's literally just oats. And I'm going to grease up this pan right here with some coconut oil. And I just use a napkin and spread it all around. I made these this morning and they turned out so good. I did use olive oil spray, and I have a feeling this is going to make it a little bit better around the edges, I hope. But first time came out pretty good. Okay, that is pretty well greased. I'm just going to add in the batter. Yum, these are so good. Okay, and spread it around. And I think this is a 6 by 12 pan. So that's what I'm covering right now. And just make it nice and even. Oh, kitty cat. There's a cat on that chair. Okay. So 2 cups of oats, 2 mashed bananas. I use a food processor. 2 scoops of protein powder, about 60 grams, because some different protein powders have a different serving size. So I use about 60 grams, and it's a really good ratio of the powder with the 1/3 cup of egg whites. So these are all done, and they're pretty even, I guess. And I'm going to pop these in the oven at 350 for 25 minutes. And then I'm going to start on the icing, which is my favorite part. Okay. Oh, that's way too much. Okay. 25 minutes for that. And now to blow your mind on the most simple protein icing. So this one is a little different. These I made this morning, and this is actually protein icing with white chocolate, which I'll show you how to make in a second. But to make protein powder icing, it's really complex. You need a scoop of protein and a tablespoon of water, and that's it. Okay, so you definitely want a good consistency with this. Sorry you can't see me. And you want kind of like a suspect little amount of water, because it's going to turn into, let me get more water, into a little bit of a like milky type of liquid. And you want it to be like a super thick frosting consistency. So I'll show you guys what this looks like. So this is just protein powder and water. I put this on pancakes, I put this on toast, and I'm gonna put it on these bars as well. All right. This is what it looks like. And that is protein icing. So I'm gonna put a nice scoop on here, and this will solidify at room temperature. And spread it around. And this, my friends, is protein powder and water icing. So you definitely need to love your protein powder for this to be good. And it's perfect. So now let me show you a little bit more of a fun type of icing. I'm going to do white chocolate Snickerdoodle icing. So get ready to have your brain blown at how easy this is. This is going to be for 2 bars. This will cover 2 bars. All right, so it'll be a tablespoon of white chocolate chips. No, I'm sorry, this is a half a tablespoon. Half a tablespoon of white chocolate chips. And then half a teaspoon of, let me get all that out of there, coconut oil. And you heat that up for 1 minute and 15 seconds. And I definitely need better measuring utensils. Okay, so 1 minute and 15 seconds. This goes in the microwave. And then you're just going to add in your protein powder, stir it up, and it's going to become really, really hard at room temperature. And that is white chocolate chips protein powder icing. You could do it with regular chocolate chips, dark chocolate, milk chocolate, whatever your favorite chocolate is. And they taste really good with the Snickerdoodle banana oat bars. So I'm really excited to try those out too. And so bars are going to bake for 25 minutes, and they're perfect that way. And you can also add something different than vanilla if you want to add different flavored protein powder. A pumpkin spice protein powder would be insane for these bars, so keep that in mind. I did have someone say that they don't like the way bananas make them feel. If that's the case, you could always do applesauce instead of bananas, and with the consistency, you might need a little less applesauce. Okay, those have 15 seconds. So after they come out, I'm going to mix it up and then add a half a tablespoon of protein powder. And those are for 2 bars. So I only have 1 left to cover. So I'm just going to cover that one. Okay. So this is just half a teaspoon of coconut oil and half a tablespoon of white chocolate chips. And I'm going to stir it up so it's nice and liquidy. And then put half a tablespoon of protein powder. And stir it up. And this is more of like the icing consistency. And actually, this might need more coconut oil. Or an actual scooper, that would be nice too. All right. So this one has white chocolate in it. And let me get another spoon. And these all just solidify at room temperature too. I like to keep these bars like in a Tupperware on the counter and not in the fridge, because they tend to be, they tend to get a little hard in the fridge and it's not as tasty, I guess. But definitely heat them up in the microwave before you eat them. Okay, so this is the white chocolate icing. And we're just gonna spread it right on here. Oh my God. And a little bit more coconut oil will make this kind of like a drizzle. I don't ever want to put too much. So here, oh my gosh, are our bars. So super simple. I'll leave the recipe on my story and linked in my Instagram or my YouTube description. And I'm having difficulty spreading this, but here we are. Protein bars, bananas, oats, protein powder, and that's it. So I hope you enjoy them and let me know if you make them. And this. And